Hello everyone. So today I would like to share my experience with ultraviolet resin to cover earrings and pendants with Japanese washi paper. And I showed in some other videos that I use Mod Podge to cover my earrings and pendants, or ultraviolet resin, and sometimes varnish. So my analysis of varnish is like any type of varnish. If you use not like, it doesn't matter actually, even if you use spray or you use like pencil, sometimes it's not attached properly. It leaves like empty spaces, and you have to cover 2-3 times to get effect on your, like, you know, this glossy, or doesn't matter if you want to like have good protection. And that's why I don't use varnish too often on the top. I use varnish from the backside, on the backside, and actually it's not bad, and I like this way. And I use also Mod Podge on the backside, but when it comes to the top, I use Mod Podge, and I use ultraviolet resin. For this collection, I use ultraviolet resin, and I'm gonna tell you what kind of mistakes, or not mistakes, but unpleasant outcome we have using this ultraviolet resin. After the resin is dried and actually become like hard, after hardening, let's say, I'll check every pendant, every like item, every earrings, and check like on the different angles if there's any miss spot, and if the edges are covered completely, because I want my jewelry be presentable, nice, like, you know, high quality, and that's why I check everything. And what I found, so because some washi paper has kind of glossy surface, not always like resin is attached to the surface properly, and we have this type of I'm gonna show you just 1 second. This is what I have to redo. Like, if you can see here, we have a little kind of empty lake, like a spot without any resin. Unfortunately, even if you put enough resin, even if you think it's okay, but when you put under this lamp, sometimes it works in this way and you still have empty spaces. The same like here. Whenever I'll check everything. Like here, you hardly can see, but I can see better. There's a spot, like, you know, and that's why I'm gonna redo this one. And also I found like this one. Look, you see, it's empty spot. You see this kind of not covered with resin. You can that's why you need to look under different angle of light, like, and then you will see it. And also I touch with my fingers. I try to feel, and you can feel right away this like empty. Also I check all the time, I check edges, and sometimes the surface looks perfect, but then look at the edges, and I found some empty spots. That's why the edges are not smooth, you know, that's not covered completely. As I said, even if you try to do your best, sometimes it gives you, like, you know, this kind of unpleasant effect. Yeah, detached, and then you can see here, especially I guess here, it's very difficult to show you. But I also, like, you know, I use a finger to feel the edges, and here I feel like emptiness and some kind of sharpness, and then I'll check. And if I don't see with my glasses, sometimes I use magnifying glass and then check more. Another problem when you use ultraviolet resin, and I'm telling you why I'm using ultraviolet resin. So I use usually like this type. It could be different branch, doesn't matter. And the proper way to keep the resin, it should be the dark container that doesn't actually not under the sunlight, and it has to be sealed. And then you use activator, the ultraviolet lamp, and be careful, don't try to have it close to your eyes, because it will damage your eyes. I use ultraviolet resin because when I work in my studio, especially at winter time and springtime, then I don't have enough air. Like when you use regular resin, it's toxic. It vibrates and it's toxic. And I have dog and a cat, so I usually use this type of resin when actually it's when I can open the windows and doors outside, because I don't have a special ventilation for this type of resin. So that's why I prefer ultraviolet. And in instruction it says that you don't need ultraviolet light, so you can leave, like, at the daylight. It takes longer. It takes like a couple hours, or sometimes like 24 hours to dry. And by mistake, when I was checking, like, earrings, I touched this one, it wasn't dry. Now it's kind of, the surface is not smooth anymore because I touch with my fingers, so I have to redo. And yesterday when the lamp was broken, actually not the lamp but the connector, and I couldn't use the light to finish my work, and I left some pendants and earrings. And then my cat, you see what my cat did? My cat came from outside. This is a proof that my cat was on my table, on my desk, and actually went through all my pendants, and some of them were not covered, some of them were covered, and then my cat scratched, like this 3 scratches. So I don't know why she did it. I don't know. So I tried to cover with another layer of resin to make it smooth again, like to save this pendant, but it didn't work because it's quite deep, and then you can feel with your fingers. You can feel with your fingers this 3, like 1, 2, 3 scratches. So I have actually to throw it away and make a new one pendant, because I don't think I'm gonna save this pendant. It's still too deep. So this is what happens when the resin is not dry completely, not hard completely. If you touch it, or if you if you do something by mistake, then actually you will ruin entire surface, and it's not easy to repair. Another problem with ultraviolet resin, actually any kind of resin, it's bubbles of air that gets, somewhere, like this small one you can see. And ultraviolet resin, it's one of the best because it doesn't leave so much air bubbles as usual resin. To avoid this bubble formation, never shake the bottle with resin. Never shake, and spread the resin very careful, very gently on the surface of all this material you work with. Sometimes it actually doesn't affect very much, like here, for example. But if you use, like, the plain colors and kind of with less images, then it's visible, and then you can see this little bubble. Another way to avoid bubbles, it's when you actually put your resin on a surface and then actually spread it. Then wait 1 or 2 minutes, and let's say I see here a little spot, actually mist spot. It's before I put under the light. Also it checks from any kind of angle, and sometimes I can see this little bubbles, like a little here. So I touch gently with a little tip, trying to kind of destroy the bubble. But be careful, because when it starts the process of hardening, it's very difficult to remove the bubbles, and you can damage actually this bubble and damage entire surface. But among this collection I think only few of these are not good, and I'm gonna redo it. And this one I actually forgot to cover with resin. I don't know how I missed. But anyway, for this amount, I think it's quite good outcome, because it's not too many that requires repair, or to fix it. And that's all what I would like to tell you about ultraviolet resin. It's not toxic, and it's actually good for me, and especially having cat and a dog around all the time. I found it's much better and I'll have less concern about their health, even my health. And at the same time, it requires some kind of like, conditions when the ultraviolet resin dries and become harder like fast. That's why the light is much better than the daylight. And again, instruction says you don't need a ultraviolet lamp, but you can use your daylight. So if you use it, just put it aside that nobody will touch it for at least 24 hours, and then you will see. So I will continue to assemble all these earrings and pendants. I'm very happy with the outcome, and I'm really happy. And it's nice and it's cute. And then you can see it on my Etsy. And also if you go to art shows, I'm visiting now. It's spring and summertime. I'm going to art shows like festivals and markets almost every Saturday and Sunday. And I'm very happy to socialize in this way. So you can meet me somewhere in Ontario, and then we can chat. But write me a comment and press like and subscribe to my channel. So I will continue to fix this one and then assemble the rest of the pendants and earrings. So see you next time. Bye bye.